Hi everyone, in this video I'm making a TIG welder shelf and a hammer organiser so that I can test out some of my new Cosmic Sassy powder coating pink. The underneath my bench is actually checker plate because it was made out of scrap, and I find the best way to clean off rusty checker plate is with the wire wheel. Otherwise, if you use a grinding disc, it only gets the high points, and with a wire wheel you'll get a better weld on it. And this is how I've had it set up, and I left it there for a few days just to see what else I might want. And this is my hammer holder, basically just a whole heap of different size pipes, TIG welded to some angle iron which bolts on where the handle pickups go on the side of my toolbox. I TIG welded it because I just wanted some practice, and in what you're seeing now is I'm just taking the sharp edges off and prepping it for powder coat. And now what I'm doing is I'm just die grinding some of the weld penetration. That tube was quite thin and I cooked it. To current time, I'm cutting off the welding shelf and adding on a little bit of height, 15mm in height, and also a tungsten kit shelf underneath. So the shelf's just made out of some 2mm mild steel plate with 50mm folded up on 3 sides, and then that's just going to be welded underneath the bottom of the TIG shelf, and Bob's your uncle there. And then I also had some leftover stainless pipe, and I wanted to make a little filler rod holder. I've only 2 for special stuff like the for the shorter rods for the chromoly and stuff like that. So right here I've cut a 45 on them so they look cool, and then just tacked them on with the MIG.
Time has come to powder coat these 2 things I've been working on. I've got these 3 colours that I bought for a job and it never went through, so I've got to use them, and I really want to check out this Cosmic Sassy. This one is like a bright pink. Yeah, hopefully the camera sort of conveys that. Don't need to do it over super chrome, so I'm really excited to get these bright pink things on my workbench, and yeah, we'll skip to that right now. Alright, so this Cosmic Sassy is 12 minutes at 400 Fahrenheit, which is something like 200 degrees Celsius. Going to coat that now. I'm just going to sit you guys over here. Hope you guys are comfy. If you like this video so far, make sure you hit the thumbs up or subscribe, that'd be sweet, and we'll see how this goes. Alright folks, you've seen it same time as I did, sorta. That is Cosmic Sassy. It's got a bit of fleck through it. You might see that on the camera, I'm not sure. Very cool colour. And yeah, so the oven's just got to heat up. So while that's happening, I'm going to take a chance to talk about my sponsors for this video, which is me. I sell shit like this, awesome to work in, hoodies, hats and all that on builddriverace.com, and it helps me pay for cars and parts and shit. And also, not technically a sponsor, but my work, Roscoe Engineering, always let me use the powder coater and stuff like that. check them out. We can pretty much do anything. And while we wait for that oven to heat up, I'll show you a couple little things I've got in the works. It's been that kind of time where there's a lot of little jobs happening for me, but I haven't really executed my time well the past month. So I'm going to show you a couple of things that are in the works, and maybe they will appear in future videos, and we'll see what you reckon about them. Alright, so for those of you who have followed me for a little bit, about a year and a half ago I made a little Mark II coupe model, and I mean, I was pretty happy with it, but the detail compared to this one, not as good. This one's a bit more realistic. I've started off with it's just like a lunchtime project. Every time I have a bit of free time, I start work on this, so I'll basically run you through what it is before I do an edit on it. Basically a model off my Escort, and made out of 1mm gal just because I could find it, and there's a few 3D details like this here. This is like the rear window infill like on mine, so what I did there was just made a die and a press in that shape and pressed it, and it's come up pretty good. The wheels this time, the wheels on the last one I made out of some stainless tube, maybe 40mm or something like that. This time I really want them to turn because it's quite annoying. The other one's just like a big lump. So these are a hydraulic fitting that's been cut down and machined up a bit, and then I've just got a piece of steel gas tube, welded a thread on there, and that bend in there is just to get the height. Not the height, that bend in there is to get the camber. Because I want it to be a bit more realistic, I want the back wheels to tuck under the guards, which they are, and the front wheels to have a little bit of negative camber, kind of like a bit of a drift car, etc, etc. And yeah, this has all been freehand except this has all been freehand. I had to add a little piece here because it looked too shark nosy and not right, and I've also made a press die thing to make the barn doors a little bit more realistic. So that's where I'm at there, and I just need to make some tiny little hinges or whatever, and yeah, but that's most of the shape work done, and yeah, 15 minutes a day is kind of how that goes. Okay, still heating up. Let me show you what else I'm working on. It is, if you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen I've got a KZ250G. It's a 1981 Kawasaki road bike, 250 four-stroke, and I got it really cheap. I got it for like $1,000 with a spare, and I sold the spare to a mate who's going to do a road bike, dirt bike, convert it to a two-stroke. But on my one, I've got one side cover, and the other one was missing, and I can't seem to find any reasonably priced in the country. So although it's a bit rough at the moment, that'll buff out. This is the opposite side of the side cover, so basically just made a shape and then folded those two things, folded that 30-degree angle, and yeah, welded all around. It's a bit rough because I welded around here, buffed it back, and it all cracked, so I've started to weld the inside. Don't look too close at those. And yeah, so the oven's taken a while, but that's another thing I'm doing, and it's getting really close to road ready, so really excited about that. is done. That's how I've organised my hammers and my TIG welder. Pink's pretty cool, a bit girly for around here, but pops like a motherfucker. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Make sure you please subscribe, like, comment, dislike, doesn't matter. See you soon.